Hello.
Morning.
Good morning. How you doing today? Thank you for hearing me.
Walking, you're making me dizzy. All right, we got one stopped. Oh, I got more people that just admitted. Let me just get everybody else in here. All right, trying to get everybody on board. All right, it looks like we've got, looks like there's 5 of you. All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Judge Nicola. You're here today for a, most of these are parking violations. And what we'll do is we'll call each of your cases individually, but when everybody else's case is called, I would ask you guys, please mute your microphone because we get a lot of feedback over Zoom if your microphone is turned on. And it looks like I've got everybody with their name. I've got Mr. Mason present. And let's see, I also have Mr. Moss present. Is your last name Moss? I don't see Moss on my, what is it?
I'm using, my last name is Madruga Jose.
Okay, Mr. Madruga. I'll just note
using
that.
my girlfriend's.
Thank you, sir. And then also Mr. Peterson is also over Zoom. Okay, so let's see who the officers are. Let's start with Mr. Madruga. It looks like Mr. Madruga and Mr. Mason both have Officer Cordair as the citing officer. All right, let's start with Jose Madruga. It's case number 20MO667. All right, and we've got Officer Cordair there.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Madruga, you were cited with having an expired meter. Your original citation was issued under the old ordinance indicating a $202 fine. If you wanted to resolve it, the fine would be $37 plus the cost of this proceeding, which is $10. Would you like to resolve it or would you like to go forward with your hearing?
I would like to resolve it.
Okay, then the order would be that you pay $37 for the ticket plus the $10 court costs, and that will be the end of it for you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome. How much time do they have to pay on these? Like 30? 30 days sufficient, sir? It'll be $47.
Okay, so would I pay that at the courthouse? Is that okay?
Yes, or you could pay it online.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. And then we have Mr. Mason, 20MO84. It looks like you have the same type of issue. You were cited under the former requirement of the 202, and the court would also offer you the ability to pay the 37 plus 10 if you wanted to resolve it today, sir.
Yes, I would, and I just want to make one comment, but I'd appreciate that.
Sure.
And by the way, how do I make payment online?
You go to collierclerk.com and you pull up your case, and there should be a payment provision on the website to allow you to pay it online.
collierclerk1word.com?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yep. Great, good. I just want to say I've been coming to Naples for 20 years. And I try to follow the rules very carefully. What happened in this particular case was I had parked at a Naples park because I was going to demo a boat with my son, and we parked. And I've never gotten a parking ticket in my life, and I came back and there was this ticket, and I looked around and I realized that there was at this park there are often very large vehicles that come in to deliver boats, and they block the signs. And so just a suggestion would be that in the future, if they could post the signs so that even if these large vehicles coming in to offload the boats don't block the signs, we'll be able to see them, because I just didn't see a sign at all. And I realized later, I looked around and realized that it was just obscured by this truck.
Officer Cordair, where was this? Was it down at the boat parking ramp? Where was it?
Yes, Your Honor, it was. And immediately as you turn to come into the boat parking ramp, there was a sign there that states boat parking only. There's nothing that can be obstructed unless they got a lot of trucks backed up. I've never seen it blocked.
Sorry, it's blurry. I can't.
There it is. I see it. I know, and I know exactly where that is. And sir, I accept your explanation on that. There's not a lot I can do with having somebody who parks their boat in front of a sign. And obviously when Officer Cordair went over there, he didn't see the boats because they were no longer there. So now you just have to be, careful and look for the signs. It's the city of Naples. They're the ones who are responsible for putting up the signage. So I always tell people that when there's an area where you don't think there's sufficient signing or they're obstructed or obscured by something, that it's always a good idea to mention it to your city councilman to see whether there's additional signage, that they could consider posting, because we certainly don't want people to get citations when they don't realize that they're not allowed to be there. So I will mitigate yours, though. I'm going to withhold adjudication of guilt and just impose that simple lower amount for this violation. And I appreciate you telling the court about the issues you had that day, sir.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
that. Thank you.
Thank you. And Officer Cordier, I think those are your only two today.
That's all. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, and let's see, Mr. Peterson, let me see who yours is. Yours is with Officer Enerato, and I've got 3 people with Officer Enerato, and I've got a person in court here. What's your name, Ann? Okay, you do not have Officer Enerato, so let me just address this one really quick. Mr. Peterson, you're also here today, sir, for having an expired meter. Let me pull your case up real quick. Oh, there you are. Okay. And Mr. Peterson, would you like to have a hearing this morning? Is that what you'd like to do, to allow me to take testimony from both of you?
Yes.
Yes? All right, so what I need to have you both raise your right hand and be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
I do.
Okay. So first, Mr. Peterson, I'll hear from the officer because the state has the burden of proving the violation, and then I will hear from you, okay? All right, officer, please tell me why you cited Mr. Peterson for having expired meter.
Sure. On 12/5 of 2020 at 3:29 p.m., I issued a citation for expired meter at Loudermilk Park, space number 228, to a white Land Rover SUV with Wisconsin registration. I checked the pay stations prior to issuing the citation, and then I issued the citation when I didn't see anyone. So it was an expired meter, and it was in space 228. And I have photos of the front windshield with no parking sticker, and then the vehicle parked in space 228.
Okay. All right, I see that. Yes, thank you. I also see that. Thank you. Anything else, officer?
That's all. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Peterson, it's your opportunity to tell the court your position, sir.
All right. If I remember this correctly, that Loudermilk station does not give receipts. So I have a charge on my account here that I paid that parking meter that day. I must have put the stall number in wrong, but there is no receipt that I had as proof except just the charge on my account.
And what does the charge on your account reflect, sir?
I'd have to go back and I'd have to log in, but it's whatever the max time is, it's like $5 or something, the max that I could put in on the parking meter at that time.
Okay.
Which
All right, so sir, what the court is going to do at this time is the court is going to dismiss the citation and issue what's known as a judicial warning, which means I accept your explanation, but I would urge you to make sure that when you park at Loudermilk or anywhere else in the city of Naples that requires a paid parking, that you make sure that you put in the right parking spot. And I would even suggest if it doesn't give you a receipt, just a receipt, taking a picture of it or something with your phone so that we have it. Because I think that this happens not frequently, but every once in a while where someone types in the wrong space, and then I can see from your information on your phone or something like that, that in fact, that's what happened. But I do accept your explanation for that, sir. So, okay.
Thank you.
All right, officer, I have 2 other people with you. Let's see here. One is Edward Churambolo. Let me take, there's some notes on this one. See what the notes are. And that is 20 MO 761. Request for a hearing. Make sure all the information went out. Set on infractions. Notice to appear. The villages. Let me just check with Jen and make sure that she's gotten the right information for this gentleman. Hey there. Did you have information of a communication with a man named Edward Chirumbalo? He's not in Zoom and he's not in court. Oh wait, it just said 3 people have entered the waiting room. Maybe he's in there. He's here. He just came into the waiting room. Okay, thank you. All right, bye. All right. The joys of Zoom. Mr. Chirumbalo, we just called your case, sir. I see you are appearing over Zoom.
Hello?
Hi there. Are you Mr. Chirumbalo?
Yes, hi.
I'm sorry. Chirumolo, I'm so sorry. Yes,
hi,
and
Your Honor.
everybody else that's in Zoom needs to mute your microphone, please.
Okay.
We're just calling Mr. Chirumolo's case.
Yes.
Anybody else who's connecting needs to make sure they're muted.
I'm connecting.
Yes, you need to mute your microphone, please.
I just mute my microphone?
Yes, sir. I can mute it for you. There we go. Okay. All right. Sir, you are here today charged with having an expired meter.
Yes.
And would you like to have a hearing this morning, sir?
Yes, I would.
Okay. And I have the officer present who issued the citation, so I need to have you both do right now is raise your right hand and be sworn. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give, not you, Mr. Victor, just Mr. Chirumolo. Thank you. Swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And sir, because the officer carries the burden of proof of proving this violation, I do need to have him testify first. And then
Okay.
I'll have you the opportunity to tell me your side of the story, okay?
Okay, that'd be fine. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Officer, please tell me why you issued this violation, sir.
Okay, on December 13th of 2020, at 3:43 p.m., I issued a citation for expired meter. This was at Broad Avenue South, space number 9912. And the vehicle was a white 4-door Tesla with Florida registration. And I have a photo of no parking sticker on the front windshield. The registration tag was Florida 5272JE, and it was parking space 9912.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I see that. Yes, thank you. And I also see that as well. Thank you. Yes, and I see the notation for the space number. Thank you.
That's all, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chirumolo, what is your position, sir?
Okay, well, my wife and I were in the middle of a 2-week trip to southern Florida. We had just driven in from Deerfield Beach that morning. We had never been to that beach in Naples before. We had a little time before we had to check in. So we went to the beach and I looked around, and that was the closest spot that I could find to the beach. It was still a bit of a walk, I thought, but you know, it was Sunday and I figured, well, I'll just take the best I can. So I got out of my car. I'd seen the meter when I pulled in. I got out of my car, went back, I don't know, it was 3 or 4 or whatever, 5 cars back where the meter was on the corner. Tried to get it to work, and I don't know, it wouldn't work for me. It wasn't operable. I looked around, I didn't see another meter. I happened to see somebody coming back from the beach about that same time. And I asked them if they had paid, and they said, no, the meter's out of order. And I said, other people had been here and they hadn't paid either. So, I mean, I'm going to be 77 years old in a couple of weeks. I mean, I was brought up to obey the rules. You know, if you pay, you need to pay, you pay. I tried to pay. We were there maybe 2 hours at the most. I came back and I found the citation on my car.
Okay. Officer, have there been a problem with this meter that you know of?
Not that I'm aware of, Your Honor. There were others that had paid, as I could see on my phone. They had a green check. Many times the users do not hit a couple of buttons. Sometimes you have to push the buttons 2 or 3 times to wake it up in order to initialize. So that could have been the problem as well.
All right. All right, so Mr. Chirmolo, I accept your explanation. I don't know whether the meter wasn't working or maybe it was user error, which is always possible too, but
Well, that's possible.
I understand that you tried to do the right thing and you failed, and I'm not going to penalize you for that. So I'm going to issue what's known as a judicial warning, which means now you know when you come to Naples and you see the meter that you might have to press a few buttons to get it to wake up. And if it's broken, you don't park there, okay?
Okay, thank you very much, Your Honor.
And I'm going to dismiss your citation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, and then the last one, let me see. I've got Mr. Victor. I just want to make sure that I finish all of Officer Enarato's. Is Brian Montesino over Zoom or no? All right, officer, we're just going to address Mr. Montesino real quick since he's your last case, 20MO715. And I'm inclined with Mr. Montesino to renotice him because it looks like his mail was returned, even though that appears to be his address on everything, and I don't understand why it was returned. So I would like to maybe give it one more opportunity to get renoticed. And I don't really understand why it was returned because it looks like it's a valid address. It just says insufficient address, but everything on the citation that you wrote and on the request for a hearing all indicates that address. So I'd like to maybe continue this one time to allow the opportunity to try to renotice him. And if it comes back, then I guess we'll have to address it then.
Okay,
All right.
sure.
So that'll be Brian Montesino, 20MO715 will be continued for a month. Actually, let's continue it to my next infraction docket. That way I can, February 18th. This will stay on my docket because I'm going to put a note on the file to remind myself.
Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that's all of this officer's cases. Care of that one. And let's see. So we have Mr. Gray is in the waiting room. And who else is in the waiting room today other than Mr. Gray? Who's on 847-501-0808? Who's, what is your name? And you have to unmute to tell me your name so I can make sure that I call you. All right, well.
It's for Krishna Glazov, and it's 112020MO000733, Your Honor.
The last name is Krasnoglavaz, is that correct?
Yes.
I'm close? Okay, I'll note that you're in the room, and also that Mr. Gray is in the room. The next case that I'm going to call would be Ms. Keller's case. The officer is Mr. Officer Walters, 20MO708, and Ms. Keller is actually in the courtroom.
He's coming.
We'll have you come up to the podium, ma'am. Thank you. All right, we've got Officer Walters present. I'm going to have you both raise your right hand and be sworn. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. All right, Officer Walters, can you tell the court why it is that you cited this lady for having a dog on the beach and the circumstances surrounding that, please?
Your Honor, yes. On November 3rd at approximately 10:42, I received a call that the dog was on the beach at 32nd Avenue South. I arrived and I didn't observe the dog until I walked out on the beach and looked south, and she was walking south, headed towards the pass, Gordon's Pass. One of the other city workers was on the side-by-side, drove down and alerted her to come back to 32nd Avenue South, which she did, and then I issued her a citation for having a dog on the beach. We've been getting a lot of complaints, and they wanted us to start issuing citations for dogs on the beach.
Okay, did you have any conversations with her or anything else?
Yes, I did. I did have a conversation with her.
And what was the result of that conversation?
Well, she knew that she's not supposed to have a dog on the beach. And then I also showed her the sign that it says they're not allowed on the beach. So so she was all right with it, and I issued her citation.
Okay. Ms. Keller.
The officer is he's correct in everything he said. Very nice chap. We had a really good conversation after 10 minutes. I did bring the dog to the beach because that was wrong. I had a 4-month-old yellow lab puppy that I'm trying to train as a service dog.
Okay.
And one of the things he has to do is learn different environments and people. I really was not taking the dog to have a fun day on the beach. My intention was go there by the water. I went to an area that was not populated heavily, and we walked to the beach. Two walks, 2 or 3 blocks. I was wrong, but I really was not there to play with my dog. So,
I understand.
But I do admit I was wrong.
Okay. Well, yeah, in the city of Naples, you can't have a dog on the beach even for 5 minutes. You can't. I remember.
I totally understand why.
They tried to change that. I don't remember how many years ago that was, and the city of Naples residents overwhelmingly said no, we don't want them on the beach.
And I totally understand why.
And there are places where you can take the dog to the beach. You can go to the is it Lover's Key where they have Dog Beach? Is that what it's called?
It's in Bonita Springs.
Yeah, in Bonita.
Yes.
But you can't have the dog.
The reason I didn't take it to the beach is because he was all shot.
Okay.
So that's not the excuse, but that was the reason.
Okay.
So since he's gotten all his shots, I have to.
Okay. Anything else, officer? Any proposed resolution for this lady that we could provide to her today to try and resolve her case for her?
Your Honor, she was aware of that the dogs are not allowed on the beach. I just say fine and calls.
And that's what the court would do. It would be the standard fine, which is $115 plus the cost, but the court will withhold adjudication of guilt, which means I'm not pronouncing you guilty, but I'm still making you responsible for the fine based on your knowledge. And I'd say, next time you can't take them down there. As much as I understand, we love our puppies and we want them to acclimate to other environments. You have to do it where it's legal to do so. We try to make sure that all of our officers are kind to people, even though people may understand that they're getting a citation, and nobody wants to walk back to their car or walk on the beach and find out that they're getting a hefty fine for doing something that. I appreciate that. 115 plus 10. Yes. Thank you for coming in today. Okay, bye. Okay. And then Mr. Glazov, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, sir. I'm very sorry if I'm saying it incorrectly. And this is case number 20-MO733. Sir, are you there? You just muted. You need to unmute.
Yes.
Hi there.
Yes, Your Honor. You're correct. You're really good with our last name. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. And I did receive a letter from you, and I have reviewed it. The court is not inclined to waive the fee. Would you like to proceed forward with the hearing?
Yeah, the situation was what we came first to the Naples, and we were not familiar with the parking situation, and we came when it was the tropical storm coming the night before, and the next day, it was, I believe, on Saturday, we saw it's kind of a little bit, and we came for like couple days to see Naples. And the next morning, we decided to go and just look around, even it was the rain. And we didn't take any money or credit card with us. And we stopped by maybe for 10, 15 minutes. And I tried to call, and because of the storm, my phone I couldn't connect and pay by the phone. Okay. And I really apologize, but the weather was really bad. It was storm. We just kind of was able to see for the future to come. And we came the other day just to be for hour there, and we paid. but there we just stopped by to see, and it was impossible to be there. And also I tried to pay by phone, but I couldn't dial. My phone was breaking because of the tropical storm coming, and it was rain and wind.
Okay. So I asked you if you wanted to go forward with your hearing, and I think that your answer is yes, you do want to have the hearing. I need to have you both sworn in. Will you raise your right hand and be sworn, please? You swear to
Yes.
affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, do you swear and affirm that the statements that you just provided to the court are true and correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you not see that there are parking stations when you went to Loudermilk Park? Is that what you're telling the court?
No, I saw the parking station, but we didn't have money or credit card with us. And we just didn't plan to be there because of the weather. We just actually walk to see what is there with the first time there. And it took like 10 minutes. And when I came back, I tried to pay and call by phone, but I was not able to dial.
Okay. All right. Officer, is it your position, sir, that this was a metered lot and that the meter had not been paid, and that's why you issued the citation?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. So, ma'am, I understand your position in this case, but I think that in order to park there, you needed to at least make an attempt to pay the meter. There's nobody you can call. They're metered spots. And you said you saw the meter and you saw the spots, and I can't understand your defense. So
no, I called.
I understand
that.
I
called.
I understand, but even though you called, it's not something you call about. You have to pay money into the meter, otherwise you're going to get a ticket.
I tried to call to pay by phone because we didn't see. I tried to call to.
Hold on, ma'am. Can you pay by phone on that lot?
No, Your Honor, you cannot. We
I
don't
didn't
have
think
the app.
so.
There's no apps.
I didn't think there was, ma'am. That's not a pay by phone lot. There's nothing to indicate in Loudermilk Park that you can pay that by phone. You have to actually.
But I tried to call this number and to make sure what we've been there, and we were not able to pay because and I was not able to dial in it, and it was weekend.
Well, my advice to you, ma'am, would be that if you're not able to dial in and you can't figure out how to pay the meter, that you don't park in the spot. You just can't. You have to either have a beach parking permit or you have to pay the meter. Otherwise, you're in violation even if you're there for 5 minutes.
I totally understand, and I'm really sorry. It was our mistake.
Okay.
But could you see our frustration to come first time to the Naples? First of all, we were not aware of the situation. Another thing, it was pouring rain. We didn't plan to park. Why? We didn't have any money with us or credit cards.
Okay,
we just stopped by for a couple, like 10 minutes.
Your Honor, I have a photo of the vehicle. You can notice it's not pouring rain.
I see that. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, so here's what the court's going to do. I'm not dismissing the citation, ma'am, but I am going to make you responsible for the court costs and not impose the fine, so you'll have to pay the $10 court cost to resolve it.
Okay, how could I do it?
You'll have to pay that through the Collier County Clerk of Courts. And you can go online.
I'm responsible to pay $10 to the court cost, yes, not the citation. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Yes. Thank you.
And I will be able to call your assistant and she will tell me how to do it.
I don't know if my assistant will tell you how to do that, but you can call the Collier County Clerk of Courts, and they should be able to tell you how to do it, how to make payment.
Okay.
Okay.
I will get anything in the mail or no?
You can also send it by mail. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Thank you. Yes. All right, there we go. All right, I think officer, is that everybody you have?
Yes,
Did I
Your
get everybody for you? Thank you, sir.
Yes, Your
All right, and Mr. Gray, I think you're my last one, sir, and that is with Officer Lupien. All right, and this is case number 20MO740, and this is also an expired meter. And in this case, and I don't know if you had a chance to look at this, officer, but there was a lengthy letter that was in the file about parking and paying at the kiosk and not being able to get a receipt. So I guess I need to get some testimony from both of you. I
did not see the letter, Yana.
It's you just need to unmute. It's it was filed in the court file December the 3rd, and I can read what it says. It says, we received this parking ticket on Sunday, November 15th at 14:24. We paid for parking at the kiosk near the entry to the beach.
It's us.
2009 from 1:32 to 4:02 p.m. Machine said no receipt would be given, no paper was dispensed. My checking account was debited 6:25 on Sunday, see printout. Pending transaction posted to checking account November 17th. And then when you go to the next page, it does show that there was a $6.25 fee that was debited from his account. And then the next page shows when it was actually cleared. So I guess my question to you, officer, is, would that be a sufficient explanation as to what happened with this gentleman, or do you want to provide more information on this?
Yana, if he has documentation that show that he paid and that he would have been paid up until 2:24 p.m., then I would say dismiss the ticket.
No, to 402.
Sir, I do accept your documentation to show that you in fact paid the meter, so I'm going to dismiss your citation, and the officer is in agreement with that, okay?
I'm afraid I don't understand what you're saying.
I'm saying I'm going to dismiss your case. That means your citation is being dismissed.
Oh,
That means everything's done. Yes, I looked at your information. It shows that you paid it. The officer agrees that if you provided information that showed that you paid it, that we should dismiss it. And so everybody's in agreement, case dismissed.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.